The moon is a soul trap that makes you reincarnate. We live in a soul system, not a solar system. No one's trying to trap your soul. Let me explain. The moon does in fact trap your soul, and yes, it does reincarnate you, but it's not how you think it works. You have to understand that you are a physical being and you have an astral body. Astral body is the body you use when you dream and when you imagine. Imagination is a dimension. There are 7 layers to the astral plane, which are the 7 planets. Moon at the bottom, Saturn at the top, and the sun in the middle. When you die, you are stripped of your physical body, left with thought and emotion inside the astral plane, imagination. Imagination is your biggest power when you die. If you die with your mind and emotions still attached to addiction, sex, lust, and the material things of the world, then you will manifest in the lower astral plane, where low vibrational thoughts and imaginations take place, which is governed by the moon. Most souls in this physical world are attached to physical pleasure, and when they die, they manifest in the moon on the lower astral plane because they still desire the physical plane. When you are there and you can't fulfill your physical desire, you will reincarnate yourself. In order to ascend to the higher astral planes, we must detach from the external world before we die. If your soul is detached from the world, then you will merge with the sun. Hence why Jesus says, you can only reach the Father if you go through me. Jesus is the sun, and when you die, your light body will attach to one of the planets depending on your level of awareness. The moon is not a soul trap, it's not reincarnating you. You get yourself there by not preparing for death. Depression doesn't actually exist, and I'm going to prove it to you, that you're actually choosing to become depressed, right? So what you need to understand is about depression, is that depression is a part of the thinking mind. Now let me break this down for you so you can understand. You have a thinking mind, what we call the conscious mind. And inside this conscious mind, you have your name, your job, your reputation, your body, your trauma, your memories, your family, your interests, your bills. But what happens if you turn off that thinking mind? What is left? Well, you're left with you. You probably never thought about this. Who's the observator of this? Who's observing your thoughts? If you turn off your thoughts, you're no longer your name, your belief system, nothing. You're left with consciousness, you're left with the soul, and that's the true you, and that's what you need to connect with. You know that void that you have in your heart sometimes when you just feel horrible? It's because you're not doing what this is saying. We all have this feeling inside of us that tells us the right thing to do at all times. And if we do not connect with that, that is why we are depressed. That is the soul screaming out. So, my people, learn how to meditate if you have depression. I've been there, okay? And I promise you, depression does not exist. It's a choice. And when you learn to gain that off switch with your mind, you can turn depression off. Because depression is part of the thinking mind. You have to learn how to switch off the mind and control your thoughts. Placing your hands together completes the electrical circuit of your body. Your hands are manifestations of your brain hemispheres. The left hand is the right brain, the creative one. The right hand is the left brain, the logical one. Tate uses these mudras as a technique to merge the brain hemispheres, to merge logic with creativity. Most people are trapped in their logical mind because society programs you that way. You're taught to use your right hand in writing to strengthen the left hemisphere, trapping you in logic, dulling creativity. Christianity, nuns are forced to write with their right hand to strengthen the left hemisphere. Hence why it's called writing. Sounds like the right, because they need you using the right side of your body to keep you in logic. Look at prayer. We place our hands together in prayer. This stems from an ancient form of meditation of placing the hands together to sync the brain hemispheres, to unlock consciousness. Because when the brain hemispheres work as one electrical system, consciousness expands. The mind becomes unified. Why is it astronauts always do this symbolism? These are the only 3 monkey emojis. It symbolizes speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. Have you ever seen something horrible and it makes you shiver? Light is information. It enters the brain through the retinas of your eyes. This information affects your whole nervous system. Everything you see, touch, taste, hear and smell positively or negatively affects your nervous system and contributes towards shaping and molding your mind. And your mind shapes your reality. Astronauts do this because they're Freemasons and they know everything that enters them is shaping them in some form. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, people. Females are magnetic, they attract. Males are electric, they are the action taker. Everything is electromagnetic. Trees resemble brains. Their branches mirror electricity, which looks exactly like your nervous system because you are an electric technological being. The same fractal patterns appear on leaves, rivers, lightning. The sun gives life to the earth. Your soul gives life to your body. The sun is the universal soul. The day is life, the night is death. When you sleep, you enter your spirit astral body, death. When you are awake, you enter your material body, life. Death is just a greater version of sleep. That's why we say sleep is the cousin of death. You are the universe in miniature, a fragment of God. This is a very strong magnet. When we pour liquid nitrogen on it, nothing happens between the two magnetic poles. When we pour liquid oxygen on it, there is an attraction between the two magnetic poles. This proves there is electromagnetic energy within oxygen. This is why the word breath means spirit, because when we breathe deeply and do breath meditation, we strengthen our electromagnetic field, which is your spirit, your spiral. Breathing exercises sends oxygen, which is energy, to the brain and stimulates the pineal gland. You can quite literally trip off your breath because your lungs produce DMT, and when you breathe deeply, you can activate a mystical experience or an out-of-body experience during meditation. So when you breathe deeply for long periods of time, you will feel yourself going lightheaded because you're activating your consciousness, you're awakening your pineal gland and your spirit. Whatever you do, stop breathing through your mouth. Jesus and Satan do not exist. Jesus and Satan are two characters that represent a psychological process within the human mind. Jesus, the higher mind, the good thoughts, love. Satan, the little voice in your head that tells you to steal, rob and hate. You must save yourself from the destructive thoughts and the internal hell that you may live in. You created the destruction in your life. Satan never made it. You made it. There's no devil tempting you to do anything. It's your own mind. And you'll forever blame external things until you realize this truth. They've disconnected you from the heavens. The whole world used to speak one language. This language was called telepathy. We could speak by transferring thoughts through the energetic grid that surrounds us all. Tower of Babel represents this connection to the astral and mental plane. The Bible mentions this tower being cut down. It symbolizes losing our connection to the higher realms. Once the tower was cut down, the whole world spoke a different language. Tower of Babel is a symbolic story representing losing the ability to telepathically communicate. Have you ever thought about someone and they magically appear on your phone? This is because we're all connected on the mental plane. Language is a spell. It molds our mind, limits our imagination, confines our thoughts to structures. Imagine thinking without your mind using a language. To gain telepathic powers, meditate for long periods of time on one intent. Focus the mind's energy and attention on one thing for long periods of time. Why is it Jesus wears a white robe? This is all symbolism. The color white represents spirit. Your spirit is your astral body, immortal body of light that you use when you dream. You came from the astral plane. You descended into matter. You're a fallen angel angle, a fallen angle of light. Daytime, you're in your physical body. The nighttime, you're in your astral body. You are an immortal soul, a multi-dimensional creature. You can travel between dimensions. Jesus was the fisher of men. In Latin, the word men means mind. Jesus was the fisher of minds, pulling minds out of the physical world. Neo pulls minds out of the simulation. If Jesus existed, he was not God. We are all God. He was a person who descended into matter and helped people ascend their mind out of the physical world. These are the sacred teachings of astral projection. Jesus in the sky with the white robe represents your astral body. They hide everything in symbolism. Why is it Freemasons stand on this checkered floor? We see this in music videos. It represents division and illusion. You think you are this physical body, which is the illusion of the physical plane. You need to ascend to higher understanding of the spiritual planes. Mainstream music is hypnosis, putting you in a trance and keeping you in the illusion of the matrix. These Masonic tools are tools to recraft your mind, reshaping your belief system and ascending to higher consciousness. Stop remaining in the illusion. Low-level pleasures, lust, food, sex, entertainment. Learn symbolism to raise your understanding of yourself. Everything is spoken to you in symbolism. I've made it so easy for you all to learn symbolism. You'll learn every symbol possible. The pyramids in Egypt have these cylinders, but no one is speaking about Luxor Temple, located in Karnak, Egypt. It's built in the figure of the human body. It's not a temple for worship. It was a 3D mystery school, teaching the science of ascension of our consciousness. The entrance is the feet. The feet touch the material earth, which represents the lower mind, the low state of consciousness. Every one of these rooms contains symbolism, containing secret teachings in order to ascend, designed to gradually elevate the individual's mind from the lower to the higher, from matter to spirit. These symbols on the walls encoded secret spiritual wisdom, and you would have to go room by room to work your way up. The Egyptians never worshipped any deity. They taught the secret teachings of occultism on how to explain. Why is it the Egyptians are obsessed with snakes? They've hidden this knowledge from you. Snakes shed their skin to remove old layers. They represent transformation. Kundalini is symbolized with snakes because you're transforming sexual energy to the brain. That's why the medical symbol uses a snake, because they transform your health back to healthy. Every ancient culture and religion uses snakes. They represent the ancient religion of ascension, transforming from a physical being to a spiritual being, low frequency to high frequency. These foods keep you in low frequency, hence why they're all red, orange, and yellow for the lower three chakras. Snakes represent the ancient religion of mental or spiritual alchemy, turning lead into gold. Lead ruled by Saturn, physical matter. Gold ruled by the sun, enlightenment. Turning low-level desire and pleasure into wisdom, intuition, and expression, raising your thoughts and consciousness out of the lower half of the body to the head. They've hidden the ancient religion of the snake to make you worship a god outside of yourself. Now they give you Allah and Jesus, which are in essence demons in the astral planes. Read the caption to understand that. If you want to learn symbolism, the masterclass is now available. Did you know Playboy Carti practices magic? Many people have reported Carti staring into a flame for hours before he records. The reason he does this is to enter a trance-like state. By staring at the candle for long periods of time, you will escape the human mind of thought, allowing your consciousness to access the astral or the mental planes. The magician would do this with an intent to gain a certain information or certain thing from these higher planes. What this does, that it allows you to channel information into your conscious mind. Carti will more than likely do this to channel specific beats or ideas for music, because he understands that we are not just physical beings. If we can escape the human mind of thought, we can actually access higher realms and dimensions. Carti is also well known for doing energy work before his concerts. He will meditate in a black room claiming a certain energy for 30 minutes. And this is why everyone says he has so much aura. It's because when doing these meditations, you will invoke energy within your consciousness through emotion. He will do this to claim that energy. When he comes out onto the stage, he is then presenting that energy. Anyone can do these rituals and they will dramatically change your life. Did you know your city has its own spirit? Keep scrolling if you don't have an open mind. Every physical object has a spiritual light body. You have a physical body and you have a spiritual light body that you use to dream. This is what we call the astral plane. It's the dimension you use when you imagine something. The thoughts, the beliefs, the traumas of one specific city manifests itself as an energy inside the astral plane. The thoughts and the emotions of the collective consciousness in this city manifests as a spiritual entity in the astral plane. If you move to this city, that energy will be impressed onto you. This is why the people who move to Dubai become more wealthy, because everyone mentally knows Dubai for wealth and money, which means that is an energy being impressed upon that city. Think of a place that you visited. What does it make you feel like? That's the spirit of that place. Personally, I don't think cities are a natural thing and we shouldn't all be compressed into these places because the collective consciousness holds a power over you. Code Spring 30 ends soon.